Hello, everyone. I'm registered psychotherapist practicing in Ontario, and here we were discussing about certain topics and questions that you are asking. And today we'll be discussing about self confidence, the concept that's used very often, but very often also misunderstood. If you're watching this, maybe there is a part of you that wants to feel more confident, not completely as a different person, but maybe a little bit stronger, steadier, more self assured. And if today's conversation today was useful for you, what would you like to be different in your life? I frequently hear from people around me that they don't feel confident and they wish they were more confident, and everyone seems to be so sure of themselves, but they don't feel like. And however, self-confidence isn't something that you are born with or without. It can be lost and it can be rebuilt again. So what's self-confidence really? Self-confidence is often confused with other things such uh, as if it's not changing at all. Self-confidence is not speaking loudly in every room or being assertive about everything or never making mistakes, but self-confidence is this. Even if I don't know everything, even if I make mistakes, that you can stay with yourself. So self-confidence is not perfection, it's the relationship you have with yourself. If confidence were already beginning to grow in you, even a tiny bit, what would be a small sign of it? What would show up in the way you speak, the way you walk into a room, or the way you respond to criticism? And what's generally happening when people are losing self confidence? Self confidence usually doesn't disappear at once and it decreases gradually. There can be few reasons for it. First of all, maybe constant criticism or comparison. If you are frequently or you were hearing that they are better than you, that you couldn't even do that, your mind grows up with these messages and learns that I'm not enough, and all of the time this voice becomes an inner voice. Or if you were not allowed to make any mistakes and you were raised in a perfectionist manner, or if love or approval were withdrawn after making mistakes, a person learns that mistakes mean losing value. And as an adult, this often leads to avoiding trying, avoiding risks, or holding oneself back, and self-confidence slowly erodes. And another reason can be trauma, emotional wounds, or mental challenges that people are experiencing. For instance, while if a person has depression symptoms or had PTSD, it can be difficult to make decisions, to stay focused, to study for a long time, and over time, this might cause people to think that they cannot do it at all, that they are not capable. However, these symptoms are temporary, and when a person recovers, they can go back into their old mental well-being and they can do things again. However, if brain interprets it as if it's gonna stay forever, this can also considerably impact their confidence. And for instance, if there were rejections in relationships, harsh experience at work, being shamed, bullied, the brain records that if I'm myself, I get hurt, and the person starts to shrink themselves, tries to change themselves. And so this can be the reasons why self-confidence can decrease. And what does low self confidence feel like? Low self confidence often isn't visible from outside, but inside it can look like constant self questioning, constantly thinking, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Not being sure with yourself, excessive need for approval, constant worrying, being anxious, and minimizing one's own achievements. And the hardest part is that the person handled the sense of worth over to other people's reactions. And the first step on how to improve self-confidence is noticing these self-critical thoughts and your perception about yourself. Once you become aware of it, it's easier to change and to achieve, uh, to build a new identity and sense of self that you want to see in yourself. So, self confidence doesn't come from motivating yourself with slogans or building a safe. Uh, it doesn't come from motivating yourself with slogans, but it's built by rebuilding a safe relationship with yourself. And when in your past have you already experienced even a small piece of confidence, maybe before a presentation, maybe in a different moment you handled better than expected? Was there even a moment, even a tiny one, when you surprised yourself and you behaved very well and you felt very confident? And what was different about you then? What were you telling yourself? What did you do that allowed your confidence to show up, even briefly? And what did other people notice about you that was different? The problem is that self confidence decreases when we start to accept negative thoughts about ourselves that we might have as literal truth, and we forget about times of success when we succeeded, when we were confident, and what was helping us to stay confident. And we we put labels on ourselves and start to see ourselves through these thoughts or feelings that are present with these thoughts, and this impacts our self-perception, the way we see the world, and it might impact our behavior, um, and it might become a barrier in taking risks, trying new things, and eventually, if you are fused with the thoughts such as I am failure or I can't do anything, eventually it negatively impacts your self-confidence. So noticing these thoughts that you have about yourself and questioning whether they are real, whether do they reflect reality, and is it really you are not successful in all parts of your life, and thinking about exceptions and times when you could do this, about your capabilities, trying to find out your resources, strengths that help you to stay confident, and asking yourself why you want to be self confident. What are certain things that you want to do when you are confident, and what would be different in your life, what difference it can create, can help to increase your awareness and motivate you towards taking steps, increasing your confidence. So, when you handled some challenges well, even slightly better than usual, what did that say about you, and what kind of person does that make you? Were you a resilient, courageous, persistent person in the past? And what does it mean about your capability that confidence has already appeared before? Because confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's movement even when fear is present. For instance, try to remember times maybe when you were trying to help your friend or family member, even if you were scared, anxious, you took some steps, or related with your career, with your education. There were times when you felt anxious, when you felt scared, but however, you continued to take consistent steps. What was there about you that helped you to take these steps? And how did you do that? If you are able to understand what's driving you, what's your intrinsic motivation, what's your why, it's easier to rebuild the sense of self that you want to see and to rebuild your identity. So, confidence is brain's estimate of how likely a decision or belief is to be correct. So, it means that if you have certain beliefs, for instance, if you believe that it's important to help people, it will be easier for you to move according to your belief, even at times when you don't feel confident, or even at times when you feel anxious. And neuroscience suggests it works like a Bayesian probability. The brain weights incoming evidence, prior expectations, and internal noise that generates both a decision and a second order evaluation of that decision. So, mainly, even at times when you don't feel 100% confident or sure we are taking steps because of our beliefs, because we think it's important. So finding your why can help you to build the confidence that you want to see in yourself. And research shows that subjective confidence and objective accuracy rely partly on different neural processes, especially involving regions like the anterior prefrontal cortex, which supports metacognitive reflection. That means you can perform well when well yet feel unsure, or perform poorly yet feel highly confident, because confidence is an interpretation of performance, not performance itself. So, also, as we have already spoken, which thoughts you have about yourself, about your ability to do certain things, or why you think doing certain things is important, also has considerable uh, factor impacting your confidence and your success. And what's interesting that not all people feel confident, and their success is not always related with how they feel. For instance, some people who don't feel very confident, they are overworking, overstudying, and actually this makes them even more successful. So noticing these thoughts that you have about confidence, about yourself, about your self-perception, about your beliefs, about how you see the world, are important in order to help yourself to achieve the change that you want to see in yourself. So understanding this metacognition thoughts helps to increase confidence in a practical way. Confidence improves when the brain has clearer evidence and more accurate self monitoring. You can strengthen it by deliberately building skills. It improves the quality of evidence, seeking feedback to calibrate how well your confidence matches reality. That improves metacognition, and reframing uncertainty as normal signal noise rather than personal failure. So, as we have mentioned, building skills, learning new skills in order to perform certain tasks or achieve the success is can be another factor that might help you to feel more confident. And receiving feedback, receiving trainings on certain fields that you want to succeed also can help to increase your confidence. And also reframing things that make you feel anxious, for instance, such as uncertainty. How do you relate to uncertainty? Are you avoiding? Are you procrastinating? Do you feel anxious? And changing your relationship with things that cause anxiety can also help to increase your confidence. In other words, confidence grows not by forcing belief, but by improving evidence quality and learning to evaluate your own thinking more accurately. So, as we have already discussed, noticing thoughts that you have about the world, about yourself, about your success, about what you want to do, why you want to do, and working with these thoughts, that's actually what's happening in psychotherapies, can help to increase your confidence and success. So, and one of ways goes through noticing how you talk to yourself. Pay attention to your inner language. Is it harsh? Is it dismissive? Is it impatient? Are you being too self-critical? And what's happening? Is it helpful for you? What's happening when you are being self-critical, harsh, when you make mistakes? Generally, it makes people even feel even more sad, even more anxious, and it decreases their self-confidence. So instead of it approaching yourself with kindness, with compassion and understanding, and asking yourself what do you really need in order to succeed, can help to change relationship with yourself or with mistakes that you had or challenges that you are experiencing. And this can help to feel safe where a change actually happens. And when a person feels safe, it's easier to feel confident and to feel better. And self confidence is not saying I'm amazing, it's saying this is what I can do right now. Being real is far more healing than being perfect. And what's happening in your body and brain when confidence emerges? Psychology Today articles highlight that confidence isn't just cognitive, it's also physiological, and confidence tends to rise when the body feels safe and regulated, implying that emotional and bodily state feed back into brain system that supports confidence. And this aligns with neuroscience findings showing that brain-body loops, emotional regulation with automatic nervous system can modulate confidence experiences. So in therapies also, for instance, we are trying to find exceptions and times of success in the past when you were confident, or we are trying to find your resources. We are speaking about change. There is a change talk involved, and uh, this automatically helps the person to feel safe, regulated, to think about positive outcomes or what they want to achieve. And this helps to focus their attention on possibilities, on capabilities. And once person feels safe and regulated, it's easier to stay regulated. And if we go back into the research, that actually shows that during times when person feels safe and regulated, the change is easier to happen, and confidence can grow in environments where the person feels safe, trusted, and there is no danger. And self-trust and confidence is built through small actions, not just by speaking, not just by thinking about outcomes and change we want to see. So, therefore, it's important to try to do what we are planning to do and say no to what we can't do, and not abandoning ourselves in even in small ways. And from this we teach our brain that we can trust myself. And each time we are doing small steps, we are actually teaching our brain that I can do this, I'm capable. And each time your self confidence would grow. And that's why noticing about labels, negative self talk, negative fusions with certain thoughts is important in increasing and understanding your confidence. And even if today you realize that you are being a bit harsh with yourself, it's alone a meaningful beginning. When you feel even slightly more confident, and what changes, what change it brings, what difference does it has on you? How do you relate to others differently when you are feeling confident? How does your body feel? How does your voice sound? And on days when you doubt yourself less, even slightly, how does shift your energy, or what impact you have on other people? How others are impacted by you, how their mood is changing, and what difference does it make in your decisions? And when you respond with just a bit more belief in yourself, what happens to your relationships? And if confidence was already growing, even quietly, what would tell you that? What would let you know that confidence is growing and you are changing? And how your future might look like if this insecurity were just less powerful, and if things continue moving in the right direction, even if very slowly. What will you notice a week from now? When you see yourself taking action even while nervous, how does this change the way you see yourself, and what would it mean for you personally to become someone who trusts themselves more? I hope that this video was helpful for you. I shared certain strategies and questions that you can ask yourself, and tried to share some useful information on which conditions are needed for confidence to grow, and what you can do, which work can be done in order to increase self-confidence. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to follow me and share it with people whom you think might benefit from it. On this channel, we'll continue to talk about self-perception, inner dialogue, emotional resilience, and in the next video, we'll be talking about what are some attachment styles and why do we repeat the same patterns in relationships. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate and leave your comments. And have a nice day. Take care of yourself.